All right.
Hello, welcome to Riverfront Territory, a Cincinnati Reds podcast on the Territory Network. I am one of your hosts, C. Trent Rosecrans, a longtime Reds beat writer, now at The Athletic, and this is my co-host whose 21 saves in 1994 are still, 31 years later, a University of Miami single-season record, Mr. Danny Graves.
Wow, the nuggets that you throw out there. 31 years ago. Yeah.
I actually did. I downloaded the 2025 Miami Hurricanes baseball media guide just to make sure you still held that record, because I wanted to be factually correct.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that I did. I thought that was broken, but I guess it wasn't. Thank you for that. Dude, you make me feel so good every time. Every time?
I think I've had some bad ones every once in a while. But even bad ones, because I don't remember all of them, but then I don't know, somehow you spin it and it makes me feel much better. I thought the last pitch I threw in the big leagues was a home run given up, but you spun it to make me realize that it wasn't the last pitch that I threw. It was a double or something. Well, there you go. I'm glad to be of service, quite honestly. And I'm much happier. More than that, I'm happy that you're feeling better, because you had a rough one last week.
Yeah, it was rough, and I didn't even tell you this part. I had a little bit of an upper respiratory infection, but prior to that, I bruised my lung, Trent, playing football with the kids. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Your age,
but
man.
Yeah,
you still think you're an athlete, and you're
forgot.
A former athlete. But once that, and I know now, once it starts with a 5, that age, you're no longer.
Yeah, it was just one play. The whole time I was just taking it easy and no big deal. And then the one play, I dove, fumbled, but I recovered and got a touchdown. But bruised
that's
lung.
what's important.
Yeah,
that you stunted on the kids.
Yes, totally.
Do you talk trash when you do that?
Oh yeah. I mean, politely talk trash. Yeah, you have to. Because the kids that we played with are hockey players. So all these kids talk trash on the ice, and we don't know what all they're saying because we can't hear it. But they come back and say that they say certain things, and just keep it on the ice. That's all.
Or on the football field where Danny bruises a lung.
That's right.
Great. Did you get that diagnosed? You just go hey, ugh.
I actually had to go to the emergency room the next day. It was so hard for me to breathe, and I thought maybe I cracked a rib or something. And then I went to the emergency room. They did a CAT scan, and they said that I have a bruised lung. Pulmonary contusion is the actual medical name.
What? Yeah. Pulmonary being of the lungs and contusion being a bruise. Yeah.
Yep.
What was the worst, what was the worst injury you suffered on a baseball field?
I did tear my ACL in 1994, the year that you're talking about that I have the record for most saves. I tore my ACL in the College World Series that year.
Oh, wow.
Game 1 of the College World Series. Yeah, 2 days after I got drafted by Cleveland, I tore my ACL. Yeah, terrible. Terrible timing.
I mean, it's better than 2 days before the draft.
Very true. Yeah.
Here I am. I'm just like a ray of freaking sunshine breaking through the snowy.
You are glass half full, and I love it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm known for. Where's it going to go? Okay, so what about as a pro? Any big injuries? I don't remember you being hurt much.
No, I was on, what do they call it now? The IL? I was on the IL one time in my career, and it was 2004 with a strained lower back. So I missed the normal 15 days at the time, and that was it. But anything else, like I got hit by some line drives back at me, had to come out a couple times, but I didn't miss any other time after that. So yeah, I would say just that lower back was probably the worst.
Do you still have your original ulnar collateral ligament, the one you were born with?
I do. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Can you believe it? No. Listen, Trent, I'm not even joking. I never had pain in my UCL, in my elbow, nothing ever.
Forearm?
My shoulder. That was it.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, don't mess with shoulders. Like we know how to fix elbows. Shoulders are whole different.
Yeah, so I did have my shoulder fixed one off season when I got traded to Cincinnati. Dr. Kremchek, I had a torn labrum, so he tightened me up there, fixed that, and came back so much better. And obviously I still have a torn labrum because he told me about 8 or 10 years from now or from then I was going to need another one, and he wasn't lying. I needed another one, but I just never did. So it's still torn, but I don't need it.
So maybe like the worst injury, you had a worse injury playing football with your son than in your entire 10-year big league career.
Yes. Because if I would have had this kind of injury while playing baseball as a professional, there's no way I would have been able to play. I wouldn't have been able to throw. I wouldn't have been able to run. Like, that's how bad it was. I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
And then you got like, what was it, pneumonia or like something else, or
upper respiratory infection? Yeah,
infection. So you're dealing with the trauma and then the infection, and wow.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see you looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed right now.
Well, thank you. I'm battling through, dude, because I felt bad that I left you hanging last week. So
Danny Graves, gamer.
We got to get through it, man. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what we're going to get through now? A message from our sponsor.
For all the parents out there with teenagers like Kratz, we know life's a little crazy.
Yeah, Cash App's here to not add to the craziness. They're here to help.
Yeah, Kratz, Cash App is designed to meet teens aged 13 to 17 where they are with intuitive educational tools. Available through sponsorship by an eligible parent or guardian, teens gain access to a personalized Cash App card. With the Cash App card, you and your teen's balances receive 24/7 fraud monitoring, and if something ever feels off, you have the ability to lock their card right from your phone in just one tap. Download Cash App and get started today. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code FAMILY10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
All right. Well, there we go.
All right.
While you're getting your Cash App, you can also go into iTunes or wherever you listen to this, or YouTube. Rate, review, subscribe, all the stuff. We like nice reviews.
Yes, we do.
Danny's been hurt, so you don't want to hurt his. You don't want a contusion of his feelings at any time. So there you go. It's important.
My feelings are very sensitive right now too, Trent. So thanks for that.
You're known for your sensitivity.
That's right.
It's done well. All right. Well, it has been a little while since you and I have chatted on air or video or whatever we're going to call this. Went to the winter meetings. There was still a hope of adding Kyle Schwarber to this team the last time we talked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to say something because like I rambled earlier, so you can, or last week. So now you can ramble. I said the only thing I was surprised about Kyle Schwarber re-signing with the Phillies was that Reds fans were surprised. Were you surprised?
I was not surprised that he re-signed with the Phillies. I think we mentioned before, like, regardless of whatever teams were going to go after him, and we weren't sure if the Reds were at the time, but I mean, it was nice that they did go after him. I think we even mentioned that it didn't matter who was going to go after them or whatever they were going to offer him. Philly was going to do whatever they needed to do to keep him on that roster. This is a guy that's probably one of the best clubhouse guys that you could imagine having. He's so well liked by everyone in that organization, everyone in the city. Bryce Harper is there with him, and I think that's a big deal that you keep Bryce Harper happy as well. So I don't think it was a surprise whatsoever that he re-signed with the Phillies.
Yeah, the Reds offered 5 years, $125 million, with room to move. The Phillies went 5-150. The Orioles apparently also went 5-150. I think if the Reds had gone 5-150, there's a chance he would lean towards there. But I also don't think the Phillies were going to get outbid. I just don't think they were going to let money be the difference. And that is how John Middleton has acted as an owner, and as a fan, that's exactly what you want. So yeah.
Yeah. And the hometown discount, I don't know if that's still a thing these days. I know people talked about it a lot. Yes, hometown discounts are nice, but you also want to have that security of, we're going to compete every single year that I'm here. And in Philly, they are. And I'm not saying the Reds don't try to compete, but it's a different kind of situation going into every spring training. With the Phillies, that if you're right there at the cusp, they're going to do whatever they need to do at the deadline or whatever they need to do before that to make their team better and have a chance to win a World Series. Cincinnati, there's a lot of other factors that go into it. You're going to have to move a lot more with your salary of other players. You're going to have to make more trades. You're going to have to do all kinds of different things, and maybe even deferrals. Are they going to take deferrals? There's so much more that goes into it than just hometown discount for this amount of money.
I wanted to ask you something as a former player. I will hear this from players a lot, and I think I get it, but I want to hear kind of your side of it. Is when guys say, I owe it to the people who come behind me to set the market, to not take less. How do you see that as a player when a guy says that, or did you ever feel anything like that?
Yeah, I think we do owe it to the players coming behind us, because the players before us did that too. The majority of the players went for what they were worth and didn't take all the discounts just to have that security. Now, obviously, there's some that did, and those I can't fault them for taking security, guaranteed money for however many years, even if it was below market. But I think for me, watching guys ahead of me, knowing what they're worth and knowing that that's what they should take and not take less, just to continue that, to raise the bar of what you're worth. You know what I'm saying? So then, the people that's coming after you, hopefully they're looking up to the guys ahead of them as well and saying, look, hometown discounts is still going to be a lot of money and it's still going to be security, but I believe in my abilities. I trust my abilities that I'm going to go out and continue this trend of taking a salary of what I'm worth and not below what I'm worth.
Right. And there comes a time. Pressure.
Yeah. I just think there comes a time where you also have to realize that, like, loyalty is not a big deal in Major League Baseball.
But it also goes both ways, right? Like, you look at it like, well, they have to be loyal to you as well. And you can get traded, you can get DFA'd. Yep. Now, the beauty of Major League Baseball versus, say, the NFL is those contracts are guaranteed. If somebody's going to offer you a contract for $25 million, Danny Graves is going to get every single penny of that. Well, right. Initially, and then he has to give it to agents, Uncle Sam, etc. So, it is. I mean, it goes both ways, and in the end, your loyalty is to yourself and your family. Honestly,
Right.
Like, I'm. You know what? If the Athletic wants to give me a 5-year contract right now, I'll probably take it. I would love it. That's like, because that's what's important to me, is that security over time, as opposed to the security of, of each dollar. But a lot of times it's a sliding scale, right? Like, if you want more years, you're probably going to have lesser per year. And yeah, it all depends on what you can do, but you have to take a representative kind of deal. I don't think it's fair to yourself, to your family, or to anyone else.
Right. And there's a difference too. I think we got to state that guys that only have a couple years in the big leagues and they take the less money to have that guarantee, that's different, because they haven't set the market for themselves yet. So, guys like Hunter Green that signed that long-term deal barely any time in the big leagues, I would have done the same thing, because
me too.
You don't have that bar yet. You don't have whatever your value is yet. You could say, yeah, this is what I could be if I continue to progress, but you just don't know. So taking that security, absolutely. I'm saying when you're in arbitration and when you're becoming a free agent, you have to take what you're worth.
Yeah. It's only fair to me, but
yeah,
but it is one of those things where that sounds like a lot of money, and like, what's the difference between 125 and 150 million besides $25 million? I'd sure like to find out. If somebody's going to give you 150, Danny, and give me 125, I think we'll both be okay and figure it out. But I would much rather have 150 than 125, even if there's probably no tangible difference to me.
Right, but still, and there it goes again. Like, if Kyle Schwarber does take 5 for 125, how old is he? 32 or 33? Yeah. So now the next 32 or 33-year-old DH/outfielder is not going to be, if he's not hitting 50 to 60 home runs, he's not going to get the 5 years 150 that he should probably get. If Kyle Schwarber takes $25 million less, it changes the whole market if you take that big hometown discount like that.
And looking at it, who was the immediate beneficiary? Pete Alonso.
Right.
Who gets the Orioles. Schwarber turns down the Orioles 150. Then Pete Alonso gets 155.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would take too.
Yeah, all right. I'd hope you would.
The Athletic, we got some stuff. So I was going to ask you beyond that is, excuse me, where do the Reds go from here for you?
Good question. I was hoping they would go for Adolis Garcia, who ended up signing for $10 million with the Phillies. But like, with you and inside information, I didn't realize that they would have to even make more changes to even offer him $10 million if he was available.
Yeah, that's what I think. From what I've been told, is like, basically Nick Krall said the budget's the budget. And so if, say, Kyle Schwarber had taken it and taken the Reds, there would have been other, like, it wouldn't have been this team plus Kyle Schwarber. There would have been some, I think Gavin Lux is an obvious one with I think he's expected to make like 6 in arbitration. That would be obvious because you have a redundancy there. Mm-hmm. And then maybe even a Brady Singer or Tyler Stevenson, guys who are entering that last year of arbitration along with Lux, who are going to be some of your biggest ticket items. So I think that could have gone into it had Schwarber signed. The Reds have picked up a little catching depth, knowing that that's a possibility and that you always need catching depth. But they have 3 on the 40-man roster right now, and that's going to have to probably stay that way just in case. So yeah, it's pretty important that to remember that this is what he is given, and I like to say it a lot, but we all have bosses.
Yeah.
Would Nick Kroll have loved to offer 150? Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the guy who signs his checks signs those checks, and you can't go against the guy who signs your checks.
Bottom line, that there's there's nothing that Nick Kroll can do. Like, the budget is the budget. He's told this is where we need to be. So use your imagination and use your skills and your smarts to get us a good competitive team with this. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not easy to do. Trying to move things around. And could you imagine, like, as well as Brady Singer was for the Reds, like, if he's not there, I know there's some depth to starting pitching, but there's also some health possibilities with starting pitching. Like, why would you get rid of a guy that has already done what you needed him to do?
And when you got Brady Singer, the reason you got Brady Singer is because you could count on 160 innings, and he went out and did that. And that is, in today's game now, like, that wasn't a magic number when you were there, when you were playing. Like, Bronson Arroyo, like, that dude wanted his 200 innings every year.
200, yeah.
And 200 was the thing. Now 200, that's some serious business. And it's tough to find.
Right. If you're asking somebody to, like, give me 160 innings this year, I mean, you would think that you should be able to find that pretty easily. But the way that the game is, the way the starting pitching is, 160 is the new 200, right? Like, it's and 200 back then was not an easy thing to do.
Well, and part of the thing now is, every guy that comes out of the bullpen, I mean, like, Danny, the way it's changed, and I remember my first years covering baseball, I remember guys going, oh man, he's throwing 95. He's a hard thrower.
Yeah.
Like, at 95. And like Todd Coffey, I remember being like, oh man, he throws cheese, 95, 96. And today that's your lefty, right?
Yeah.
That's your lefty out of the pen if you're, possibly, if not more. It's nuts.
That's the right-handed pitcher's BP fastball.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. And I don't know for a fact, but I know people say that the radar guns are different now. And I'm sure they're a lot more accurate, but so what does that mean? Does that mean that we were throwing slower back then, or we were throwing faster back then, but it just only read a certain thing? Whatever the readings are, I'm telling you, if you're not 95 to 105 these days, like, you're not pitching.
What did you top out
at? 98 one time.
Really?
That was in Denver, though. That was in Denver before the humidifiers and all that, and I just gripped it and ripped it. And it said 98, and that was the only time. One time in my whole life.
I mean,
a couple 97s. But I was usually 93, 94. If I hit 95, I was like, that's because I had a couple days off and I was just feeling froggy.
And you muscled up and just like, bud, here's 95. Yeah. See what you can do with this.
Yeah. It might sink, it might not, but I'm going to throw it 95.
Throwing it too hard to sink.
Yeah.
That's it's insane. Like, do you remember the first time you saw someone hit 100?
Oh gosh. The first time I saw somebody consistently do it was Billy Wagner. And
Hall of Famer,
from the left side. And anytime we played in Enron or Minute Maid, whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called now. It was Enron and Minute Maid when we were playing. It just, I'm telling you, when he was in, he didn't throw softer than 99. Like, everything was 99 plus. And I'm like, how is he doing it? He short arms it, throws it from right behind his ear. But I know his quads were humongous. Like, his legs were ginormous. But the ball just exploded out of his hand. And it was unbelievable. I faced him one time and had to bunt. And it was 99. And I actually got it down, but I don't know how. He just threw it right over the middle of the plate. And I bunted it. And I got a sacrifice out of it. But it was like a blur, and 99 from the left side is not fun.
No, I can't imagine it's fun from either side, but especially 99,
True.
especially how well it's hidden, the way he can.
Yeah.
Did you know that he was actually right-handed?
Yes. Yeah. He told me that story one time, and insane.
Yeah. It's just unreal. That guy.
Yeah.
God, he was so good. Like, it's
good.
one of those that, like, when you dig into the numbers, like with his Hall of Fame case, like, it's pretty impressive. Another guy like that who kind of like slipped in and off the radar, but was so much better when you looked at the numbers than maybe you remember, was Joe Nathan. Joe Nathan was good.
Yeah, I would have to dig into those numbers. I know he was like saving 40 games a year, but I didn't.
Yeah, he was really good. So Adolis Garcia off the table.
Yeah.
This team still, you feel like it still needs some kind of impact bat. Where's that coming from? I put my list out last week, and I'm still not sure.
Well, who do you got?
Who did I have? Here's an interesting trade that was given to me, like a trade idea. And it's a tough one because it starts with Chase Burns. I think it was Chase Burns and maybe one of the, like a Brandon Williamson or something, for Ketel Marte.
What's his salary?
It's actually pretty affordable. That is one of the reasons. Let me find it real quick.
I mean,
he's a heck of a player.
One of the best in baseball. This guy is pretty remarkable.
So he has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 5 years and a player option remaining, with about 102, I think, there on the table. So that's through his age 37 season. About $100 million. I mean, that's $20 million a year. That's for what he has done over the course. That's pretty good. Now he's on the wrong side of 30, and that's where I get really nervous. Especially a guy who's so athletic. But I mean, you're talking a guy who last year, he finished 22nd in MVP, so he's down from the year before. But he was down from a 932 OPS to an 893 OPS. You're talking a guy who, since 2021, has a 134 OPS plus, is hitting 279 with a 360 on base, 498. I mean, that's 115 home runs over those 5 years. That's a tough one for me.
Do you put Matt McClain in that?
No. If they want to, maybe, or maybe you move Matt McClain to center field.
Okay, I like that.
So that's.
So you're thinking they're going to go with the trade route instead of any other free agents.
You know what? I mean, and Ketel Marte is a switch hitter as well. Something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
If you have Ketel Marte and Ellie De La Cruz back to back.
Yeah.
It's.
Figure out your bullpen with those two back to back. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, quite honestly, and he is, last year, 893 OPS against right-handers, 891 against left-handers. Like, wow, these are nuts. 287 batting average against righties.
Pretty clutch too.
Yeah. And then the slugging on base, they're 100th away from each other. So a 376 versus 375 on base percentage, 517 versus 516. 19 of his 25 or 28 homers last year. Right-handers, 184 plate appearances, and about half the plate appearances had 9 home runs against lefties. So, like, seriously balanced player.
And he's still running, right?
And he still can run a little bit. Stolen bases last year, had 4. I mean, but he's never had more than 11. He's just
okay.
Yep. So it's one of those things. It's interesting. That was what somebody threw out there for me, and I was like, huh.
Yeah, I just don't know if I'm ready to put Chase Burns in there with somebody on the opposite side of 30, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, but if there is a guy, I mean, you just went for a 33-year-old who is granted a DH, but I mean, Ketel Marte can still hit, so, you know.
Yeah.
I
but they wouldn't have had to give up Chase Burns, so to speak. I mean, maybe they would have done something, but, I mean, this guy's not – he's going to be making league minimum, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So it's an interesting one there.
It is.
And I think trade is where you're going to have to go because, quite honestly, like, none of the free agents really – appeal to
strike
me.
You
no, like I don't see any of them as the surefire, and that's one of the things with Schwarber is you just knew, hey, this is going to cost a lot, but it's going to give a lot, and you're making a more of a gamble with anybody else, if you ask me. Anybody else who's left on the free agent market.
Yeah, because a lot of them are the older guys like Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, that's or even like, you know, then you have platoon guys. You know, is Ryan O'Hearn really, you know, he's okay, but like it wasn't that long ago the Royals gave up on him and had a good year this year. Like I don't know that if I'm straining to make money up, I don't know if that's the guy I strain for or anybody else that I see on the free agent market right now is a fit. You know, maybe there's you know, I've heard the Dodgers are looking to shop Teoscar Hernandez. Maybe that's a little different. You know,
really?
Yeah. Who had kind of a down year, but I don't know. There could be something interesting there.
Well, it still hit you 25 jacks,
especially at Great American.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there are some options, but again, as with free agents, it's all about the cost because what people want is starting pitching, and starting pitching's hard to come by. That's why everybody wants it, and you know, when it's even harder to come by when you're a small market team, and then you add a ballpark with a bad reputation that is well earned. That makes it even tougher. So really that starting pitching depth is going to have to be through draft development and some timely trades. And so that is tough. And that's what every team's going to look for from the Reds. You know, like it's going to start when they start these discussions, it's going to start with starters. And I don't know that anybody is going to be so enamored with anything else in the roster or the system that they will take less than a starter. And like we are also seeing more, I think we're seeing more big leaguer for big leaguer deals or teams interested in big leaguer for big leaguer deals as opposed to the old prospect deals.
Right.
I mean, prospects aren't as sexy as they once were. I mean, we saw a top 100 guy, Henry Ford, get traded for a reliever, like, and not a closer. They just don't have the value that they once did.
Right. Well, because they want the ready players now, right? They don't want to wait to see if a prospect is going to turn into a suspect or a pro.
Yeah, and then, you know, in the teens, 2010s, it was all about like rebuilding cycles and tanking and then rebuilding through that. And that just there have been some high profile hits from that, but you know, not everybody got it done. Like the Astros and the Cubs got it done, but that's about it. You know, the Royals was just a Royals thing, and give them credit because they had a huge farm system. But that didn't even have the legs that were expected.
Yeah. Well, do you expect anything like to happen before the new year? I know it's not a whole lot of time, but
I would say I don't, but I could be wrong. Those things do happen. I remember, I think the Latos trade happened like around Christmas.
yeah.
The Latos to the Reds, not the one to the Marlins happened at the winter meetings. That was really kind of the last winter meetings deal I remember. That and Alfredo Simon happened the same day. Pretty good day for the Redlegs there, getting Eugenio Suarez and Jonathan Crawford for Alfredo Simon, and then it was Anthony DeSclafani and what was that guy's name? Austin Bryce Austin Bryce was in the Luis Castillo trade with the Marlins. I think it was Chad Wallach, and there was another guy. I can't remember who that is. But yeah, December 17th was San Diego 2011. San Diego Padres traded Matt Latos to the Reds for Yonder Alonso, Brad Boxberger, Yasmani Grandal, and Edinson Volquez.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, that many players for Latos?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And that's what they had to do to give up to get starting pitching.
Yeah.
And I think that's just something to remember.
Yeah. Well, the Reds do have some starting pitching that could be offered.
Yeah, but depth goes pretty quickly when you're talking about starters.
True. And there's so many like young starters too. Like I want them. I want to keep them.
But it also means they're not sure things.
True. Very true.
Like we all loved what we saw from Chase Petty this year. I mean, not Chase Petty, Chase Burns.
Chase Burns, yeah.
We were all like, "Whoa, look at this guy." I mean, but he's still at a 4.57 ERA in 43 innings.
Yeah.
Walked 16. He was okay. Gave up some homers.
Well, the ERA was from a couple outings, right?
It was from you take away that one outing, and it was. But even then, like the Red Sox outing, his second one, after just dominating, when you give up 5
he did get out of the first
third of an inning, that's rough. You take the rest of his time from there, the 38 after that, it was a 3.32. So,
yeah,
you take that one out, but he also had a stinker against the Nats. Still struck out 10, but yeah. He's a guy that there is a lot of potential, but even with like Hunter Green, we saw that with Hunter Green young, right?
Yeah.
You know, those ups and downs, that is part of learning to be a big league pitcher
at the big league level. Yeah.
And that's the only place you can do that.
Right. You can only develop so much in minor leagues. And then you're going to
AAA, like AAA of today, probably not as good as AA as your time.
Right. I know that it's completely different now, the way that AA and AAA is plays
maybe
out.
more talent there, but less ball players. And that's the thing that you get at the big league level that you can't even start. Because back in your day, you would still, when you were coming up, you'd get to AAA and you would face guys who had service time.
Most of them had service time. Yeah.
And so now you look at it, there might be one or two guys who have any significant service time.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a big difference. And so like the only place to learn for a guy like Chase Burns might be at this level, because at AAA he was too good.
Yeah.
Hunter Green, same thing when he was coming up. Like, it is tough. It is always been tough to replicate the big leagues. I think it's even tougher now because of that because the teams are focused on payroll. Quite honestly, they want as many cheap players as possible.
Yeah, and I get it. But we used to have a lot of 4A players, we called it, because they had service time. They were able to get big league time, but they couldn't stay. So the teams kept them in AAA as those insurance policies. So you were facing a lot of big league players. But with Chase Burns, whether he's going to be a starter or reliever, he has to learn at the big league level. He has to make adjustments there. There's no adjustments that he needs to make in AAA anymore.
I'll tell you what, I will end on this, but I remember, and you can probably confirm this, like the thought of this, not the actual story, but I just remember one of the first times kind of hit me, and I thought of it this way was, remember Aaron Harang went on a rehab assignment, and, best guy in the world. Ranger kind of goes like, oh man, I hate going to the lowest leagues, because he got like lit up in A-ball, because he was just like, those guys didn't know I was setting them up. They just had no approach. They were just swinging, and like nobody in the big leagues would swing at that pitch, and these guys are teeing off on it, and I look like crap.
Yeah. Oh, it's so true. When I was trying to make a comeback in 2008, I ended up signing with the Twins late in spring training. So I had to stay for extended. And then I went to their Florida State League team in A-ball. Then I went to New Britain in AA, Eastern League, and then to Rochester. But each level, I was told, just get your pitch count up, like get back into, pitching shape, because there's no, like, don't look at the numbers. Don't look at whatever your results are. We just got to get you pitching again. And that was basically what it was, because extended spring for a big league pitcher is not fun, Trent. Like you can't set anybody up. They're just out there just ready to see the ball, hit the ball. And it's
tee
awful.
Off on a big league pitcher. Be like, I took this guy deep. I'm ready.
Yes. Oh man, it's not fun. So
young and dumb
there's no
tough.
setting up. Yeah, exactly. I remember those days, though.
Well, neither one of us are young anymore, and we just found out that you are no Phillip Rivers, because he finished his game. You did not.
That's right. Yeah. Well, he's a lot stronger than I am.
That's true. We did it again, Danny, and we will be back later this week, but really appreciate you guys joining us here. If you could rate and review, subscribe, all the good stuff to Riverfront Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network, and we will see you again later this week. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Trent. 5 stars.
Thanks, listeners. 5 stars. 5 stars for Danny Graves and his pulmonary contusion. Sounds good.